Hello everyone, welcome to this video making use of the Project Muse database. My topic today will be natural law theory and the American Revolution. First article I'd like to overview is Herman Beltz's Americanization of Natural Law, a Historical Perspective. In this article, Beltz compares traditional natural law theory with a more modern subjective natural rights theory that's present in America. Traditional natural law is generally understood from antiquity as a theory of objective moral reality. There are standards which exist outside of the mind and will of human beings. Source of law is often disclosed to human reason from a God, or for Christians, God with a capital G. And humans are subject to these moral laws, so the laws are the authority. And so for the American Revolution, Beltz says the founders recognized natural law theory, traditionally understood as the source of natural rights, and they based the U.S. Constitution on natural law theory, human laws being a way to try to accomplish those principles of natural law, such as true justice. And Beltz then compares this traditional objective view of natural law with the modern subjective theories of natural rights. These modern views deny the existence of objective reality, so there's no moral order that is objective, and rights are based and have their source on individual choice. So an individual decides what they want, and then they demand that their desires be protected, and this makes the individual the moral authority. And this view has become especially prominent in America since the mid-20th century. And so the traditional objective view and the more modern subjective view of natural law and natural rights have been struggling in America over the last couple decades for American minds. Beltz's sources come primarily from secondary scholarship, so political and philosophical works, but he does also cite several Supreme Court decisions showing the change in thought. Second article I'd like to overview is Christopher Wolff's Understanding Natural Laws. And here Wolff points out that natural law has been used differently and has different meanings. And so he just wants to provide a summary of several of the key schools of thought in relation to natural law. One of which is classical, otherwise known as Thomistic natural law, derived from the writings of St. Thomas Aquinas, the medieval scholastic. And for Aquinas, natural law is that part of the eternal law, which is God's law, that has been made manifest to man through their ability to reason. And the first precept or principle of natural law is that which is good is to be done and pursued, and that which is evil is to be avoided. Wolff's sources include several secondary sources on political thought, and then he puts a lot of emphasis on Aquinas' treatise on law. Third article I'll overview is David Baybrook's The Relation of Utilitarianism to Natural Law Theory. And here Baybrook's argument is that the philosophy of utilitarianism and natural law theory are not always adversarial. Traditionally, utilitarianism is understood as an essentially secular philosophy. God plays no part, and it is concerned with what works in a society, what makes people happy. By contrast, natural law theory is usually understood as coming from religious perspectives, with God as a lawgiver. Baybrook argues that at its core, natural law theory is a secular doctrine, and that it was this way for Aquinas, Hobbes, Locke, and a lot of other natural law theorists. A concept Baybrook says that utilitarianism and natural law theory overlap at is the idea of the public good. Baybrook says that one does not need to think about God to identify social rules that foster the thriving of human societies and of the people who belong to them. Both secular and spiritual theorists base most of their arguments here on human reason, which is possessed by all men and recognized by secular and spiritual theorists. Baybrooke's sources are primarily utilitarian and natural law theorists, so from the utilitarian side, Bentham and Hume, for instance, and from the natural law side, Aquinas and Locke and several others. Thank you.